So I'm delighted to mention three of the people involved in this rather complex film. Obviously delighted to welcome Annemarie Jacir, who's the director of Salt of the Sea. Welcome, it's very nice to see you, thanks for coming. And then on my left, Jacques Bidou, who's one of the main producers of the film, has a very long and distinguished track record of producing a remarkable number of films, not only in France, but all over Europe and, in fact, all over the world for many years. A very experienced guy who's done a lot of great things. And then I'd like to welcome as well his colleague from JBA Production, Marianne Dumoulin, who's also been involved in some remarkable productions.
And we produce 50% of the film produced are first-time director. In Cannes this year, there's a film of Annemarie, first-time director, this first-time Salt of the Sea, and also Salamandra, film selected here from a young Argentinian director, very nice, Pablo Agüero. And like that, okay, we exist since 21 years. That's just, and Marianne and I, we work together and we produce together. We have produced this film together and very happy to produce this film with Annemarie. Maybe Annemarie can present yourself now.
It's a 5-year project. I started writing and I had a short film in Cannes, and someone who worked there introduced me to JBA, and I was looking for producers and going to festivals, to different markets, looking for a producer for this project, which I was told over and over again, it was a very difficult project to fund for several reasons. And then I met Jack and Marianne, who originally said it would be very difficult to fund because it was a first-time female filmmaker. And then later, I think they realized also the politics of the project probably made it more difficult. They can probably talk more about that in terms of Europe. But
and so, what is obviously, hopefully, you made a good connection in the end. But how did you go about it?
Well, I mean, I actually tried to avoid France in the beginning because all Palestinian filmmakers are I mean, that's been typically, France has been the place that has been the most supportive, and I thought there must be other ways.
And when you came together, what stage was the project at?
The project was, the script was very developed. It's not at the beginning. And as you can understand, the first handicap was the language, because our English is very bad. And we work in English with Annemarie, and not in Arabic, of course. And it's missed something, you know, that to begin the discussion. But and Annemarie is very volunteer, and when she wants something, she writes always to explain that she wants. And we begin the discussion on the script.
With the development before you came across Jacques and Marianne, had you been through any writers' labs, for instance? What sort of support had you had in writing to that point?
I had gone through the Sundance lab in the US with the script.
And was that useful?
Okay.
we swiftly move on.
No. It was a very interesting story. But it's a general story of this film that, as you know, that when we begin to work on a Palestinian film, it's very irrational relationship with a lot of people. You know, that the political relations are very, very complicated. You don't work like classical, with a classical script. You have a strong enemy, you don't know why, or you know why, but you have strong enemy, and you have strong friends, you know. And it's why she cannot answer really at your question, but sometimes there's problems, you know, that irrational relationship in the development or in the financing or in general relationship. It was very interesting things to speak about, because if we are together this morning, it's because Salt of the Sea is 8 countries, as you have seen in your co-production. It's totally crazy. It's 2 years of work to find the money, minimum. For less 1 million euro, you can imagine, 8 countries, less 1 million euros, we can discuss about these crazy things. And you can imagine in technical terms, what is this to have to harmonize 8 countries with the obligation, with the European qualification, for example. But it's classical problems that we have in Europe. We produce now, Tsai Ming-Yang is a Chinese guy. We are non-European, and the film is in Paris with a French casting. Everything is European, but the film is not European, because one person is an author and director, is not.
They tried to get me to marry several people in
Yes.
during development stage.
Now you want to speak about
yes,
the development.
Just to come back, because when we met Annemarie, it was in 2005, and her script was sent by Cine Fondation. It's very important because we never produce a script received by post, by mail. It's important to know that when you decide to produce, you know that it's for your life between 4, 5 or 6 years of works. So decision to say, this film, it's the film that we will produce, is a big and very difficult decision. So it's always by, you know, you are supporter of the film, and we receive this script and an incredible short film, Like 20 Impossible. And Like 20 Impossible was a big decision because it was so very beautiful short film, very strong film, and we met immediately after Annemarie. But the decision to at which moment you decide to go into the production is always by different level and with different support. And Cine Fondation, this huge script, this decision with the short and with the meeting, the first appointment with Annemarie was, how can I say, you know, the various elements to say, yes, that film we will produce. And the other things that we had the feelings that we knew Palestine, because every day on TV we have information, you know, and we discover with Annemarie what we don't know anything, you know, we were totally innocent. And this decision to produce Annemarie was based on that, to discover and to learn a lot about the country, the history of Annemarie, and because it's a long, long, long journey to produce a film. Hello, I swear.
Actress. The actress with Osama Bawardi, besides that is partners in Palestine, and Bero Beyer, partner from Netherlands. Yes.
Welcome.
No, but about, and Marianne said that to begin this discussion, that it's true that the decision it's so important because we produce 2 films per year, and of course it's very, very important. Somewhere because, as Marianne said, that we are sure that we can learn really something, and if you don't learn, it's very boring, you know. It's not interesting job, you know. And we learn the short and Annemarie. Annemarie arrived with charisma, you know. Wow. So, ooh, okay, he's a strong person. And you know that when you produce a film, if the person will not surprise you during the long journey, you are dead. You know, you need somebody to give energy, to give, to surprise you. You know, if not, it's not an interesting job. To be clear, and it's why all these elements, as Marianne said, was on the table, and the meeting with Annemarie was strategic. You know, and you are coming from another country where the cinema is very undeveloped. It's Palestine. Palestine is very complicated. There is no economy to make film. Where you go? Europe, not US. If you are not in English, forget UK and US. You know that. Forget. So a long time ago it was possible, now forget. First in France, a long tradition of cinema since after the war, that they have a lot of agreement of co-production with a lot of countries. And with this agreement of co-production, you can Europeanize the film, because you have, if you use the agreement of co-production with Argentina, for example, the Argentinian technician becomes European. You see, there is not with Palestine, there is with Israel, but Israel is not our partner in this film, definitively, because Annemarie was totally clear. We don't work with the occupant. Okay? Occupant?
Occupier.
Occupier is inverse. Okay, my English is not good, but you understand. But we will come back in details about this production. You can see that when you have 4 or 5 countries of Europe to pay little money, we need absolutely to be European. If not, the film of Annemarie was not possible, to be totally clear. But immediately you are in front of a problem, the nationality of Annemarie, the casting, Palestinian casting.
The shooting place. The
shooting place. On the paper, it was impossible. And it becomes a political problem to engage with Marianne, a struggle in the institution, Because basically all these rules are to protect. It's protectionist for Europe, you know, against what? Against Big Brother, against American movies, not against small Palestinian Brock movies, you know, and others. And the problem is to engage the struggle with the institution to convince that they must give the derogation, and this system exists, the derogation exists.